All right, we are live on Facebook. I think we are getting ready to get started here. Mark, good to see you. And we will get the party started. You are in for an incredible treat. Alan's already got an advanced jump on us. We delivered some breakfast baskets. He looked like he was enjoying his. And I know I've enjoyed my cafecito. So let me sit back and let things get started. I can't wait to be with you. Enjoy.
Good morning and welcome to Habitat's annual Raising the Roof Breakfast. I'm Doug Champlin, Interim Executive Director of Greater Albuquerque Habitat for Humanity. Thank you for starting off your Saturday morning with us. The program you're about to see in the next hour is going to inspire and uplift you. So grab a cup of coffee or refill your cup and let's get ready. I invite Pastor Rachel Powell from St. Timothy's Lutheran Church to start us off with an invocation.
I am grateful to be with you, to be with this gathering of extraordinary people who are willing to invest time and energy and passion and financial resources in order that our communities, our city may be a more just and loving place. Because we know that home ownership is about far more than just having a roof over our heads. It is about security. It is about a strong sense of self. And it is about developing economic well-being and financial capacity, not only for this generation, but for generations to come. God has always been a God of life. God has proclaimed that God desires life and life abundant. And economic well-being is an integral part of that abundant life that God desires for all people. So thank you. Thank you for your willingness to step out, your willingness to give of what you have been given. And thank you for being a part of this organization that aims to create a more just and loving world, more like God intended. So let us pray. Lord God of all, we thank you. We thank you for the gifts that you have given us. We thank you that you empower us to be a part of the love that you grant not only to us, but for the sake of the world. Lord, help us to see the path that you have set before us and give us the courage to take it. In all of the holy names of God, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Rachel. 2020 was a long, strange year with far-reaching hardships for most of us. Greater Albuquerque Habitat for Humanity homeowners were no exception. Many were disproportionately impacted by income loss, personal loss, and school closures. We at Habitat are deeply grateful to you, our supporters, for making our continued work possible. I sincerely thank you for supporting Habitat's mission in this event. Many thanks to our Raising the Roof sponsors, auction and raffle donors, board of directors, staff, committee members, and each one of you who supports Habitat throughout the year with donations and volunteerism. Each Habitat home is built with the help of over 2,000 volunteer hours, and we couldn't do it without each and every one of you. Volunteer work has been drastically reduced during this past year due to the COVID. But our core group of long-term dedicated SWAT members, our special work assignment team, have continued working and will soon finish the 6th Habitat home built during the pandemic. When that home is finished, our 22-home Mesa del Rio neighborhood will be completed. What an amazing accomplishment, and I applaud each and every one of you. Again, thank you. During the COVID, the work cannot stop. So we have begun work on our next Habitat neighborhood. We call it 62nd Street, and right now we are preparing the project for 11 new affordable homes for low-income home buyers. Because of a gift from a generous supporter, I am very proud to announce that all of these homes may have solar panels. Thank you for giving generously today to support this new neighborhood. Habitat started a new home repair program last year, and it is going strong. We are slated to complete 20 home repair projects in 2021, preserving the aging housing stock in Albuquerque and allowing low-income homeowners, many of whom are elderly or disabled, to remain in their homes safely. But Habitat homeowners tell our story much better than I do. Please enjoy the program today. Listen to what our homeowners and their children have to say. Don't forget to bid in the silent auction, purchase raffle tickets by 10 a.m., and donate. Your support makes all the difference in the lives of low-income families in our. And now it is with great pleasure and gratitude that I have the honor of introducing Brian S. Colon, State Auditor of New Mexico. Brian learned the value of hard work, determination, and the sustaining power of an optimistic attitude from his parents. Although he lost his father when he was a teenager, Brian has not forgotten the many lessons he received, particularly the importance of education. The first in his family to go to college, Brian received his bachelor's degree in finance from New Mexico State University and later earned his law degree from the University of New Mexico School of Law. He has practiced law since 2001, but his top priority has always been service with a deep desire to give back to his community. Brian has been called a force in fundraising because he is able to inspire others to get involved. His evenings and weekends are spent helping local cultural and community-focused nonprofits to raise money to support their causes or meeting with the young women and men he mentors. We at Habitat are so fortunate to have Brian's support and energy. Again, thank you, Brian, and welcome.
Doug, thank you so much for the generous introduction. My name is Brian Colon, as he said, and I am thrilled to be your MC today and your host for this 5th annual Raising the Roof opportunity to support our community. And Doug, you had it exactly right. And in fact, I love pouring into our community and lifting up New Mexico. I have already met with 2 mentees this morning. It's been a beautiful morning. I started my day at 4:30, and this is going to be the best part of my day. The next 60 minutes as we lift up Albuquerque, as we inspire others to do things that we know we can only do if we do them collectively and in working together. And what a better platform and vehicle than with Albuquerque's Habitat for Humanity. And let me just say that Doug mentioned that I lost my father when I was young. You see, I was a teenager when I buried my father. He was a mere 49 years old. And today, on this 838th day serving as the 28th state auditor of New Mexico, I know that every day I have is a day my father did not. So when we talk today, when we visit today, I need you to really understand that this for me is personal. It wasn't an invitation out of the blue. I have been supporting Albuquerque's Habitat for Humanity for years. Because, you know, when my father passed away, from that moment on, I was truly an island unto myself without a single blood relative in the state of New Mexico. And I was trying to be the first in my family to go to college and break a long-standing cycle of poverty. That cycle of poverty means that I know what it is when we talk about those who are homeless. I know what it was when I was a teenager to be a couch surfer, someone who didn't have a consistent roof over his head and had to rely upon family and community, but community mostly, because I didn't have family that were blood relatives. The community was my family, and they allowed me to stay on their couch until I could find that consistent source for housing. So for me, when I talk about housing security, it's a very personal issue. I will tell you that very excitedly that one generation out from that poverty, because of community organizations like Habitat for Humanity, the cycle of poverty indeed has been broken. And one generation out, my son is a very proud Albuquerque High Bulldog who graduated, got a presidential scholarship to go to George Washington University, and he just graduated and is now a biomedical engineer, one generation out from that poverty. So I hope you'll understand that when you today invest in this organization, you are not just changing the lives of the family who you will house, but you are changing their family tree for generations to come. Now more than ever during this time of the pandemic, COVID-19 has shined a spotlight on the margins. The margins in our community, those who live on those margins are families of color and low-income families who are disproportionately impacted by this pandemic. We know that Habitat homeownership is one of the things that can help lift up those exact families, those who can dream of having increased security and consistent housing. Habitat today is working on infrastructure on that project that Doug was talking about. We're in the great stages of 11 new homes on 62nd Street. And we are finishing the last 2 houses in the Mesa del Rio project of 22 homes. They're continuing to do home repairs for low-income homeowners in our community, and they look every corner and every way to see how Habitat for Humanity can make a difference in lifting up those in need. So we're just saying that today, as you support this event, know that your contributions will help the 62nd Street project. It will help us complete the Mesa del Rio project, but it will also help us preserve the aging housing stock right here in Albuquerque. So you're in for a big treat, lots of opportunities to be able to help us as we lift up Albuquerque and provide assistance with housing for the families who are most in need. And many of you, as I look out into this audience, I know you've been standing with Habitat for Humanity for many, many years. Many of you know the story of its beginning. Many of you know the high profile approach it took under one of our presidents who made a great difference for Habitat for Humanity, swinging a hammer. But today you're going to be entertained, inspired, informed, and hopefully over the next 60 minutes, I can keep you engaged. We're here to raise $75,000, and all the funds raised today are for this 62nd Street project and ancillary projects. But let me just tell you something really exciting, that in this time of need, this time when we need you to reach down deeper than you have before to support Habitat for Humanity here in Albuquerque, we have a great incentive. If you write a check, if you make a contribution today that has a comma in it, if you make $1,000 or more contribution, there's a brand new opportunity. You get a 50% state tax credit. You heard that correct. It's a tax credit of 50% on that $1,000 contribution. So let's get our first look at the Habitat. We got a thermometer. This is great. And if it works out, you're just gonna love it. Check this out. A $75,000 goal. We're already well on our way. We're almost 1/3 of the way. I can tell you as your state auditor, that's 33%, almost exactly. And we want to say thanks to so many people who have already stood up and put some money in the bucket so we can hit that $75,000 goal. This thermometer is going to track our progress as we go today. So especially those of you on Facebook, I want you to stick around because there's going to be some really cool opportunities to win prizes for you that are on Facebook. We got a bunch of folks here on Zoom with us, but our Facebook attendees, you get to have an opportunity to win some special prizes. So make sure you stick around. We're going to have different drawings and different opportunities for you. But, you know, Habitat for Humanity, as I try and live a life of service and gratitude, they inspire me because every event they do, every project they have, every volunteer event that they roll out, they begin with gratitude. And today, let me just start with that gratitude to our generous sponsors for this 5th annual event. Thank you for putting that up on the screen there. Let me just say that our banner sponsor, as you can tell by the screen here and by my virtual background, is New Mexico Gas Company. They stepped it up large. And we also had Bohannon Houston, the Rio Grande Credit Union, the Renault Investment Group, Bank of Albuquerque Mortgage, Talia Friedman and Company Real Estate, Grand Force Realty, Bank of America, AmFund, Schlenker, and Cantwell, PA. These are the folks who stood tall and said, yes, we are going to raise the roof with Albuquerque's Habitat for Humanity. And let me just see this chat here. It looks like we just got a note in the chat here. I don't know if everybody can see the chat because there was some confusion there whether this chat was live for the group or not, but I'm very excited to say that we just got a $6,000 contribution and it was made, this is beautiful here. This $6,000 contribution was made in loving memory of a man of deep faith who was dedicated throughout his entire lifetime to helping families thrive. And what a way to help families thrive than to provide housing security. So thank you for that anonymous contribution of $6,000. The thermometer is going to keep rising today. Let me continue. Thank you for that chat, and thank you for that announcement. Let me just say that we got lots of folks to thank, but a few in particular. We want to say thanks to Larry Mitchell for the background music that we enjoyed as we were coming into the room. He's a big supporter of Habitat for Humanity, but he's also a Grammy award-winning musician. You can find him at larrymitchell.com. Maybe somebody could put that in the chat for me, larrymitchell.com. He's on Facebook, YouTube. He provides live virtual concerts every Sunday and Tuesday night. I also want to say thanks to Lessman's Photography for the video editing for some very powerful footage you're going to see a little later this morning. So thanks to all the businesses and the folks who purchased virtual tables. I know we sent out some breakfast baskets so that you can enjoy this Raising the Roof and have some good food. And we want to say thanks to everybody who lent their expertise as volunteers and contributors as we raise the roof with Habitat for Humanity. So thanks to each of you, because frankly, our biggest opportunity is with engaging you and thanking you for joining us this morning as we raise the roof. We couldn't have an event if you didn't show up. It'd just be me, it'd be Beth, it'd be Layla. We just have the staff here and then me. That'd be kind of boring. Wouldn't be much of an event. So thanks to each of you for making today's event possible. Now let me give you some quick housekeeping that I want to make sure that you know about. In order to bid on the auction items, we've got that silent auction. Thank you for that great graphic there. This is awesome. So to get things started, even if you're on Facebook, pull out your phone, text Raising the Roof to 243-725, 243-725, text Raising the Roof. Now on there, you can do a lot of things, but you can also go to the webpage, which is habitatabq.org/2021. Now you can find lots of things. You'll see on the left-hand side of the page, you can sign up for the silent auction items. Now that auction's open till 4 o'clock today, so you got lots of time. So stick with us here, but something really important. You don't have much time left if you want to get in on the raffle. Now we've got some great raffle prizes for you today, but we want to make sure that you're tuned in and clicked in to 243-725 for the text message, 243-725, text Raising the Roof to that number, and we'll send you all you need to sign up, or hit habitatabq.org/2021, and you can get signed up right there. So thank you for that slide. I'm going to let folks get signed in, but let me just direct you to the program, and that is you got till 4 o'clock today to bid on those silent auction items. Now, I will say that I stepped up. We got lunch with the auditor. That would be me. I'll buy. We'll find a time that's convenient for you. I'll take you. We're going to have a great time. So bid on that. But there's lots of great items on there for you to bid in that silent auction. So log in, habitatabq.org/2021, or text 243-725. Text Raising the Roof to 243-725. All right. So now here's the deal. It's about 10 minutes to the hour. You've got about 10 minutes to buy those raffle tickets. Last I checked, there were only 1 or 2, or I think it said 6, but I assume that by now those raffle tickets for the Target gift card for $150, those might be gone, but it's all digital, folks. So you've got about 10 minutes to buy your raffle tickets, maybe 15. We'll push this out a little bit. We want to give you 15 minutes to buy these raffle tickets. It's all digital. You can buy them for the next 15 minutes. We'll draw at about 23 minutes after the hour or so. And let me just say that you can buy your raffle tickets for whichever prize makes you happy. We got 2 nights getaway at Pandaray. It's a mountain resort. It includes golf, but you don't have to be a golfer. That place is absolutely a dream retreat for anybody who buys those raffle tickets. We've got a quilt made with love. You can also purchase these raffle tickets and put your raffle tickets in the bucket to win a beautiful handmade quilt. And then, of course, those Target gift cards. Aleli and I put in $100 for the Target gift card raffle, so that's why those are almost gone. I wonder if there's any left. But check it out, habitatabq.org/2021. Get your raffle tickets now. All right, the silent auction's on there. Don't worry too much about that. That bidding is going to be open until 4 o'clock today. Lots of great stuff, performances, presentations, lots of good things on that silent auction. The other thing that's there is trips of a lifetime. Now, let me encourage you not to miss out on these amazing trips. They've been curated by AmFund. Remember I told you about AmFund, one of our sponsors? These trips are designed by professional travel agents. They include airfare for two from anywhere in the United States. And let me just be clear, I know we're all concerned about getting back to traveling, but these things have a 36-month window for booking. 3 years. You got 3 years to use these trips for two anywhere in the United States. And we've got 2 trips available for each. You can add additional travelers. If you're like me, you've got your spouse, maybe a child. I got my son, Rafael, I was telling you about earlier. Aleli and I could take our son. We can add that 1 extra ticket. And we got to get these things up and out there. We've got trips to Aruba, Ireland, Tuscany, France, Costa Rica, the Canadian Rockies, Key West, New Orleans, and even Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So look, there's a special 10th trip that's been added. So keep your eyes open for that. I don't know what it is yet. They haven't given me the secret envelope for that trip, but message your family, let them know you're getting ready to spend some money and get them to pitch in. I know Barry's going to reach out to his family members. Thank you, Barry, for joining us today. We're glad you're here, but reach out and tell them that you're going to bid today by 4 o'clock on these great trips. And they fly folks anywhere in the United States to the final destination. So we've done our best to provide a great program for you this morning. There are lots of different pieces to the event, film, live, and if some of the volume on these videos isn't working for you, just turn up the volume on your computer. Sound quality might vary just a little bit, but hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear and you can hear me and we can keep moving forward here. So let me just say this next piece here, lots of opportunities to support. I hope you're getting your raffle tickets. Looks like you've got just about 5 minutes or so to get on, maybe 9 minutes or so to get online and buy those raffle tickets. Now, let me just say that this next segment here relates to the incredible volunteers that serve on the board of directors for Habitat Albuquerque. Most of you know that board of directors are deeply passionate about social profit work. See, I don't call it nonprofit because there's nothing non about it. It's all about lifting up our community. And these directors are volunteers. It's no small task. It's true community service that makes their hearts grow. They're passionate about this work. And I just want to say thank you to the board of Habitat New Mexico. It is one of the most impactful boards. They are not just folks who write the check. They show up to meetings, they plan a vision, and then they execute. They get out there and they swing that same hammer as the countless volunteers that work with us on a regular basis. Now, let me just say that one of the best presidents of a board of directors I know is Natalia. She does a phenomenal job leading this great board of tremendous volunteers. So let's get Natalia to come on board because we've got a little bit of a challenge for you. Natalia, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
To see you. Thank you. And
hey, we're glad you're here. Tell us what's going on.
So first of all, I want to thank you for your kind words and for being such a fantastic MC. Yes, we love you too. And I want to thank all of our Zoom patrons and everybody watching on Facebook and on YouTube. I think we're on YouTube. And I want to thank you all for being here today. And I'm here to tell you that the board of directors has a challenge for you. And since the fundraising has just started, we're not going to make this too hard. This is how it's going to work. So there are 6 people on our board of directors. Our past president, Tom Bullard, who's the VP of Engineering, Gas Management, and Technical Services of New Mexico Gas Company. Our secretary, Michael Montoya, Director of Practice Operations of Presbyterian Healthcare Services. Our treasurer, Mike Athens, the president and CEO of Rio Grande Credit Union. Mark Lujan, the owner of Cyrus Construction. Nancy Olson, branch manager at Washington Federal Bank. And me, Natalia Griffin, Director of Risk Management at Century Automotive Service Corporation. The board has a challenge in honor of our interim executive director, Doug Champlin, and our former executive director, Joan Costello. We love you guys. Together, we are pledging $2,550. This is a 6-to-6 challenge. 6 board members challenging 6 donors to donate $2,550. If you meet the challenge, everybody wins. You'll win because you feel good about making affordable home ownership a reality for a family in our community. Board wins because your generosity doubled our donation. And most importantly, low-income families win because they gain the security of affordable home ownership. Please join us right now and recognize our amazing Habitat leaders, Doug Champlin and Joan Costello. Joan began as a Habitat board member 15 years ago and accepted the role of ED in 2013. Doug came to Habitat in 2014 as a participant in the Intel Encore program, and then he hired on as our operations director. When Joan retired last summer, Doug accepted the position of interim ED. Under Doug and Joan's leadership, 27 low-income families have become homeowners. So 6 board members challenging 6 donors to give $2,550. If 6 people donate $425, board's challenge is met. Or if you were already planning to donate $2,000, thank you, and now's the time. Then, because of your kindness, the challenge will be met when 5 other thoughtful people contribute a total of $550. There are a lot of ways to get there. However you do it, let's get it done. Please be one of 6 people to help turn $2,550 into $5,100 in the next 10 minutes. Make your donation now at habitatabq.org/2021 or click the donate button on the event site. I said it would be easy. So thank you so much, and back to you, Brian.
All right, Natalia, thank you so much. I'm just, I've got my Facebook open here, and I hope you'll do the same, but I just shared the live stream from the Greater Albuquerque Habitat for Humanity on my story and on my page, and we are now good to go. It's pretty cool. We want to do lots of social media there. I'm taking my picture with my Habitat coffee mug. That is an incredible challenge. Let me get back on point here. I am so grateful for you, Natalia. We're grateful for the 6x6 challenge. What beautiful leadership we have at Habitat for Humanity Albuquerque. What an incredible challenge. Let's see if we can meet the board challenge. I think we've got about 5 minutes to do that. Let me see here. 28,645. All right, my little screen's blocked here. That includes everything we've gotten to the moment. We want to get that. I think we got to get it in order to meet the board challenge. We got to get over 30 grand, maybe close to $31,000. Let's make sure we get every one of those dollars. We don't want to leave any money on the table. So look, I want you to know that my wife and I are making a contribution this morning. We're going to make a $100 contribution. We hope you'll join us. If 23 of us do it, we've met the challenge of the board, or 20. I know we've already got a few dollars in the door. So just 23 of us need to step up at this point for that 2550 challenge. We've already got $250 in the door. Let's turn that 2550 challenge into $5,100 in just 10 minutes. Will you join me? I know we got lots of folks on Facebook. We got lots of folks here on Zoom. We're grateful for you, and we're grateful to the board for stepping up. Now it's our turn. Join Aleli, my incredible wife, civil engineer, incredible leader who's dedicated her life to the children in a district that also reflects the people and families that we serve with Habitat for Albuquerque. Just want to say she's been a great teacher for more than 2 decades at Van Buren Middle School, changing the lives of students in the International District, one of our deepest pockets of poverty here in Albuquerque. Now let's see if we can get that 2550 and turn it into 5,100 bucks. And I'll be there to audit the numbers, so let's get it right. Join Aleli and me in donating for that board challenge. Okay, let's see. We've got I want to go over some really cool poll questions that were very, very informative. We're going to do that now as folks step up and donate and meet that board challenge. We got the donations coming in. Thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. Appreciate it very much. Let's see here. Jessica, thanks for that slide. So you saw these questions. If you joined us early, you know these questions here. But according to HUD, households that must allocate more than 30% of their income to housing expenses are less likely to have enough resources for food, clothing, medical care, and other basic needs. How many families do you think in Albuquerque face a high housing cost burden? That's what we call that, over 30% of their income on housing. Do you think it's more than 60%, less than 30%, in between, greater than 90%, or less than 10% here in Albuquerque? And let me just say, this number will really bring it home. 56,383 families. It's over 68% of Albuquerque's low and very low income families spend more than 30% of their income on housing, and they're likely to lack money for those basic needs that we talked about. What did we talk about? Food, clothing, medical care. And it looks like we got the last call for raffle tickets, and we gave you a little extra time there. Look at that, 10:04. So let's get it done. Buy your raffle tickets, and let's close out that raffle strong before we do our drawing. 68% of Albuquerque's low and very low income families spend more than 30% of their income on housing. That means not enough for food, clothing, or medical care. Let's look at the next slide that you answered. What percentage of children in Bernalillo County experience food insecurity? Almost none because of the social safety nets, less than 10%, 10 to 15%, or more than 20%. Most of you guessed correctly. 22.5% of the children in Bernalillo County, look, almost 1 in 4 children in Bernalillo County experience food insecurity. It means they don't know where their next meal is coming from. And unfortunately, the state of New Mexico ranks dead last in the country when it comes to food insecurity, dead last. So we know that we've got a population to serve, and that when we provide housing security, we know that these other issues like food insecurity are then able to be addressed by these incredible families that are just trying to keep the lights on. So I think now, thank you for those polling questions. I think now, let me just say this, we are in for a treat. Sit back, relax. Brian Wilson, you're looking pretty relaxed already there. Bank of Albuquerque's in the house. Thank you, Brian, for being with us today. And thank you for your sponsorship. But everybody sit back and relax. This clip is really, I spent about an hour with some of the most inspiring children that you can imagine who have benefited from Habitat for Humanity's work. These are just a few of the children whose lives have been changed. And I got to talk to them. I got to talk to a couple parents. One mom in particular touched my heart, but they get to talk about their experience in working with Habitat for Humanity. So if we can, Jess, can we put up the video of clips with, look at that. I didn't shave that day. Shame on me. Check out this video. I hope it warms your heart.
My name is Brian Colon, and I'm the state auditor of New Mexico, and I will take a couple minutes today to tell you what that actually means and tell you a little bit about my journey and why Habitat has been so special to me, and why I'm so passionate about the work that they do and the great leaders they have and the volunteers that they engage and the difference that they make in our community. But before I do all that, I was thinking that maybe you could tell me a little bit about yourselves, maybe where you go to school, how old you are, and maybe what your favorite hobby is, so I can get to know you just a little bit better. And we will start with, is it Amelia? All right, Amelia, we'll start with you. We'll go alphabetical.
My name is Amelia. I go to South Valley Academy. I'm 12 years old, and I wrestle.
All right, so my name is Leila Nevares. I'm 18. I'm about to turn 18 in a month, and I go to West Mesa High School, and I do boxing and wrestling as well. That's how. I'm going to become a firefighter, and I'm going to dedicate my time to becoming a UFC fighter as well.
Is it Nevea? It's not. How do you say
Yeah, it's Nevea.
Oh, it is. I got it right. All right, Nevea, tell me about you.
I'm 16, and I go to South Valley Academy in the high school.
So, Jose, tell me a little bit about you. How old are you? Where do you go to school? What's your favorite hobby?
I'm 14. I've been wrestling for 9 years, and I go to South Valley Academy.
Because I grew up in a situation where my family needed every single government program and every single nonprofit that supports families. We needed every bit of their help. I grew up in what's called Section 8 housing, which is where the government helps pay for the roof over your head. I grew up getting boxes of food from nonprofit organizations. I think I'm passionate about organizations like Habitat because I know that but for organizations like Habitat and those programs that helped me survive when I didn't have any family, and I was just a teenager in New Mexico trying to get a college degree, I know I should have fallen through the cracks. And if I'd fell through the cracks, and maybe I would have taken a different path and made some really poor choices and gone down a much darker road. And I certainly wouldn't be able to be living my dream of serving New Mexico in public office. But we all have a story and we all have a lens that we look through. And I thought it was important before I started asking you kind of personal questions about where you are and where you're headed and things like that. I thought it was important you understood what my journey's been like. It wasn't every day that I went to work in a suit and a tie. when I was your age, I struggled. I struggled for survival.
And then we moved to my dad's boss's house, I guess. We were like living there for a while, and my dad's boss died, so we kind of had to move out. And then I guess Habitat helped us with that. And we didn't really have a plan where we were going to go after we didn't have the house. So Habitat kind of helped us out.
Can we, thank you. You know, I hope that, I'm telling you, I spent an hour with these families, and they touched me to my core. When I look at that young man, I see a reflection of myself, and that was a very heavy day. I guess I didn't understand at the time that we recorded this, or that we did this with the families, that I realized I didn't know it was going to be part of raising the roof. But these children were so candid and so very, very authentic. It really was very, very deeply touching. So I hope that that translates, and I want to just say thank you. And I hope they're kind of tuned in today, because they trusted me. We spent about an hour together just visiting, and that trust was absolutely amazing. Do we have, can we put up the thermometer with these numbers? So I was going to ask for an update on the board challenge. So we're trying to make that $5,100. We're trying to turn that 2550 challenge from 6 into $5,100. I don't know if we have the thermometer, but let me just say that in the chat, thank you, LW. There it is. Let me just say that you have risen to this first occasion to help us hit goal. I hope the board is ready to write the check, because we get every one of those dollars and more. We almost doubled what we needed to meet the board challenge. Well, in the chat, it said 33,000 or 32,870. But I'm looking at the thermometer, and we're already at 34,370, and that must include the board challenge. So thank you for meeting the board challenge. We are there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Natalia, thank you for leading the board, and thank you for getting them to step up and say, yes, we can, and yes, we will. And not only have they given their time, they've given their talent, but now they've given their treasure, and so have you. So thank you to the board members, and thank you for that leadership that Natalia really did step up with. So thank you, Beth, for updating our thermometer there. And I hope, are we going to go back to the video, or let's get back to our children. I don't think that's halfway. So, and I got my little side screen here. I hope that's not too distracting, but I wanted to be able to see the kids. Let's go back to this video, and then I think I got something else special for you from Adan Bean. But let's watch these children.
All I can really remember is we got the call that we were getting a house. Like, they got us a house, and we were in my mom's room, and my mom just started freaking out, and we didn't know what was going on. And she told us, and we were just like, oh. Like, for the longest time, I thought it was like a prank. Like, somebody was gonna jump out and be like, "Ha, got you, never mind." And then we started building the house, and it was just a bunch of old dudes, like really old veterans, like building the house. So that's all I can really remember, though.
Nevaeh, how did you know that that was your room?
So at the time, my thought process was, because I shared a room with my sister and my brother my whole life. I've never had like my own room. And so my thought process was, I want to be the furthest away from my siblings. So I got the room the furthest. I got the room in the front, and they got the room down the hallways. So that was my thought process. So I made it clear to both of them.
I think our family would be struggling to pay bills and to pay rent for the house that we had before. And with Habitat, we can now afford to pay bills on time.
If you were going to tell somebody why they ought to donate money to Habitat, I'm not going to let you off the hook. I want to hear. I know you got something in your heart. This experience has made a difference for you. So what would you tell that person if you wanted to convince them that they ought to give money and support Habitat?
Probably that it gives us opportunities that we didn't have.
Like what? Tell me about those opportunities. That's beautiful.
Like when we got the house, my dad was able to open a barbershop and a gym.
I don't see my parents struggling anymore, and it makes me happy about them not struggling anymore.
Habitat is doing a great job at helping people in the community.
Tell me, maybe just in a sentence or two, what has Habitat meant for you and your family?
Oh, Habitat has been more than a blessing to us. Before this, we did live on public housing. We lived on Section 8. We lived in the projects. You could basically say we had bed bugs. We went through tons of furniture because of the bed bugs. And it wasn't us. It was more the housing unit we were in was just awful. It wasn't a great place to raise our kids. The environment wasn't great. This has gave us so much more opportunity to be able to raise our kids the right way, to change the cycle of life for our kids. Because me and my husband both grew up very rough, very, very rough. So this has given us great opportunities to change the cycle of life for our kids, which we're doing great because our kids are in high school. I didn't get past high school, so I'm changing the cycle. It's my husband was able to open a barber shop. Inside of our shop, we have a gym. So, this has opened so many doors for us to be able to, be independent on making our money. I work full time. I don't think now with the shutdowns and everything, we would have been able to pay our mortgage if it wasn't at the affordable rate that they have set for us.
My name is Brian Colon. I'm honored to have been with you today.
Shamra, how beautiful is that? Shamra that's mom to those children. And I had not seen the way they clipped that together. So thanks to our videographer, thanks to everybody, Lessman's Photography. Thank you for pulling that together for us and helping me relive that for the last 5 minutes. Imagine spending about an hour with those students, with those children, with those incredibly candid, a young lady that said a bunch of veterans. Why? What did she say? Veteran old guys. Look, that's out of the mouths of babes. But you've seen how it changed lives. You got that young lady who was sharing a bedroom with her sister and her brother, and the way she knew it was going to be her room is she picked the furthest room away so she could have some privacy. You're changing lives. That's all I can say. You're changing lives. And you are changing family trees for generations to come. Shamra just told us, they then were able to become entrepreneurial and find a path forward because of the opportunities you've provided with your contributions. Should we put the thermometer up again? I wanted to, let's hit that number again. Let's see what that number looks like. The team hates me for this probably. They weren't ready for that. Do we have it handy? I'm sorry. We're going to get to the spoken word here. We got a great presentation here. See, they can't even, look, no pivoting there. Oh, there we go. There we go. 30, look at, we're at $37,000. $37,000 at this point, thanks to the Habitat for Humanity Board of Directors for that great challenge, turning $2,550 into $5,100. I want to say thanks to my adopted mom. She's out there, Ophelia. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sending me a text that says you got $100 for Habitat for Humanity. And she's also going to bid on lunch with the state auditor, which she could have lunch with me anytime she wants, but she wants to put some more money in the bucket. Thank you, Mom. I have such a privilege. One of my mentors that changed my life, Richard Munzer, one of the founders of Rio Rancho Public Schools. He poured into me for years. He mentored me. We lost him several years ago. And ever since then, I've had the privilege of trying to be someone who looks after this incredible 89-year-old superstar called Ophelia. She is my mom in every special way. I lost my mom a long time ago, but Ophelia, I love you very much. Thank you for that pledge. And I want you to join. There's the Ophelia challenge right there, folks. This is absolutely, the staff is going crazy. They're like, where is Brian on the script today. But let me just say that Ophelia, I love you. Thank you for making that Ophelia challenge right there. Now let's get back on track here with Adhan Bean. Adhan Bean is an amazing individual. They're getting ready to go here. He's a spoken word poet. He's an artist. He's an MC. He's a storyteller, and he's a renowned TEDx speaker. Let's hear the performance of The Ground by Adhan Bean. Take it away, Adhan.
The ground. If one listens, you can hear it tell our story. The ground, a briar in the cotton patch, prickly and thorny. The ground stretches to the small and large countries and territories. The ground gives us an opportunity to give him glory. The ground. It is in the soil from whence we came. The ground, it's where we toil to make our name. The ground. From the foundation, we then lay the frame. We hand up, we do not hand out. We believe it all can change with the ground. We empower people through hammers and nails. The ground. From poverty with property, our people can prevail. The ground. Our down payment is sweat equity at scale. These aren't mere houses, they are homes where a family can excel. With the ground. Men and women meet dire circumstances with defiance. The ground. A key ingredient in the recipe of self-reliance. The ground, where a child with a stable living environment is our greatest triumph because our partners are family. These people are not simple clients. It is the ground. So much more than just something underneath our feet. It is the ground where hope springs from disaster recovery and relief. The ground. Let us be renowned for affirming dignity and peace. We work the ground till we return to the ground, and the circle of life is then complete. From the floorboards to the ceilings and roof. When we die, let us be buried in our work boots. The walls that we build cannot conceal the simple truth that decent shelters are human rights. And this inclusive movement is the proof, whether briar patch or build site. If there is a will and with skilled might, we believe those dreams that we dream can be achieved in real life. Next door or internationally, we are for sure one family, koinonia, common ground, the habitat for humanity, the ground.
Talk about powerful there. Thank you, Mr. Adhan Bean. You are truly amazing, and you are talking about the ground. And ladies and gentlemen, all of us who are able to stand with Habitat for Humanity, before we get put in the ground, as Adhan said, we are building a foundation for families to be changed forever. Let's take a look at a couple more quick trivia poll questions. Let me just talk about this one here. Compared to renters, children of homeowners are much more likely to graduate from college and or high school, healthier both physically and mentally, less likely to experience teen pregnancy, more likely to become homeowners themselves, or all the above. And as you might guess, all of the above. So let us be informed. Know that the $100 contribution you make, the $500 contribution, or you make that $1,000 contribution and get that 50% tax credit from New Mexico, it allows these families to enjoy these benefits. So thank you again. Let's see, we have another slide question here for you. Children are disproportionately impacted by housing and economic instability. No surprise there. In 2019 Kids Count report, it said, quote, a child's success is strongly tied to his or her family's stability and well-being. We talked previously about New Mexico's ranking regarding food insecurity, but what is New Mexico's ranking nationally in, quote, overall child well-being, close quote? First in the nation, above the median, somewhere near the median, or below the median, or finally, last in the nation. And you've heard it, the 2019 Kids Count report states that we are last in the nation for overall child well-being. But let me tell you, folks, we're not giving up. We are going to make a difference. We are going to be that foundation to change that kids count statistic, and we are going to increase our family stabilities and overall well-being of our children in New Mexico. Let me just say that next we have another great video for you before we do our last polling question. I'm going to introduce Gabriela Atencio. She is a Habitat homeowner, mother of 2 beautiful children, one who is on the autism spectrum, and very, very special. She's going to speak to us today about how her experience with Habitat impacted her and her life aspirations.
My husband and I both come from low-income families, so and single-parent homes. So there was no home, consistent home like that. Apartments. No, my husband did a lot of trailers. We were used to living, bouncing from apartment to apartment, or inconsistent landlords, that kind of thing. We have 2 beautiful children. Monique is 8 and Eric is 10. And we have been in our Habitat home for, I believe, 7 years. Junior, we call him Junior. His name is Eric, but he doesn't know it. Junior is 10 and he's completely nonverbal. He has autism. When we had gotten into the new home, even though he's not able to express himself verbally, he stayed in the kitchen for about 2 days. Stimming, because of the change, was so intense. Stimming is self-stimulatory behavior. So people with autism wave their hands in front of their face, or they may rock back and forth. So he stimmed for about 2 days in the kitchen. That transition was so hard for him. And to think of him having to do that more than once, from when he was born in that apartment and now we're in our home, to just think of that, it's just, I never want to move. I never want him to have to do that again. That's really hard for him. I am so happy to say we have come a long ways from then, and our home has a lot to do with that. I have been with my husband, Eric, for 15 years. I remember telling him one day, how come we don't look into Habitat? You go and volunteer your time. How come we can't apply? And he was like, okay, let's try it. And we went to an orientation that Corian was giving one time, and the rest is history. We had to make sure we met all of those requirements. And once we started, they started seeing, look, this is a good candidate, then we started working towards our sweat equity. And that is the hardest and the funnest part about Habitat. Getting out on site with the SWAT team, working, sweating, bleeding. So these things are valuable. I mean, you might not think at the moment that they are. Habitat just really hands it over. And to us, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it was like the foundation of our home was tied to our potential, to the kind of human beings we could be. That's what they've done for me. Because of Habitat, I'm a college student. Because I have a Habitat home, I'm going to be a therapist, and I'm going to give back. I am going to contribute to my community. I'm going to do a better job than what I would have been able to do before Habitat. I would like to say, for families that are in the process, I imagine it is extremely hard during COVID, and we know obstacles kind of come in the way. It's a lot of work. I would tell them, don't give up. It's worth it. When you get there, it's worth the fight. It's worth the battle. Habitat, God bless them for the opportunities that they give us. We're gonna take advantage of that opportunity and hopefully encourage more families to come to Habitat, because that's the way we're going to improve our communities.
The foundation was tied to her potential. Thank you, Gabrielle. Very powerful words. We know you're going to graduate. We know you're going to be a therapist and you have a beautiful family. And we're just so proud of you. So keep up that good work. For those of you that are watching on Facebook Live, stay tuned. You're about to have a special opportunity to win a door prize there. And I just want to say, you know, Gabrielle did a great job of saying that it took sweat equity and now they pay an affordable monthly mortgage. But just know that when you make these investments today, don't let people talk about how Habitat gives homes away. They don't give anything away. They allow people to put their blood, sweat, and tears into their potential and into their future. We lay the foundation, they realize their potential. Truly, truly remarkable. Let's talk about now, if you signed up for these text alerts, you know I got one about the Anderson Challenge Grant. So let's talk about this Anderson Challenge Grant. All the money raised for this event is for the 62nd Street homes. Each home on 62nd Street is probably going to have solar panels thanks to the generous seed money from Gail Hannigan. So Gail, thank you so much for allowing us to bring that renewable energy to these incredible homes on 62nd Street. We also got another challenge grant. We had that one from the board. We met it. This one's going to be a little heavier lift, but I hope you'll join me. The Anderson Foundation gave us a $10,000 challenge grant. The Anderson Foundation has a mission to fund programs that provide services supporting low-income and vulnerable populations or individuals. This challenge grant means if we raise $10,000 from now to the end of the program, Anderson's going to give us $10,000 to turn your $1 into $2, to turn your $1,000 into $2,000. So not only do you get the 50% state tax credit on that $1,000 contribution, Anderson's going to double it down, turn that $1,000 donation into $2,000. It's sitting in Anderson Funds account. They're waiting to transfer it over. We got $37,280 on the thermometer. We need to just get it going. We got to get that $10,000 in the door today to bring it home from the Anderson Foundation. So we say thank you so much. Let me just say that in May, Habitat is going to have a great special donor appreciation event at the Old Town Farm. If you haven't been to the Old Town Farm, you're missing out, because anybody who gives $100 or more is going to get to really have an event with us at really a secret in Albuquerque. It's called the Old Town Farm. You can Google it later, but it's an awesome, awesome venue. And we're going to have a great event there. You're going to get an invitation if you give $100 or more. And let's make that happen. Let's get that $10,000. Now, let me introduce Bill Riley. Bill's been with Habitat. I've met Bill. What a superstar he is. He's been there nearly a decade. I think he's got about 9 years under his work belt. He's a construction manager. He's been involved with the construction of 39 casas, 39 homes, and the Manal Restore build-out. He's the head of the Building and Land Committee. He's a superstar. The current focus of that committee has been on land acquisition and development to broaden our possibilities for affordable home ownership in Albuquerque. Let me have Bill tell you a little bit more about it. Bill, take it away, buddy.
Hi, I'm Bill Riley, and welcome to Raising the Roof 2021. I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about our next project in line in 62nd Street Northwest. And you can see the plans right behind me here. We have our preliminary sketch plat for 11 homes that we're going to be building very soon. So I wanted to start out by talking about our sustainability building practice and our sustainable building practices and what we do and what we're going to be doing on 62nd Street here. First things on our foundation, we're going to do perimeter insulation. We do an under slab passive radon mitigation system. We always on our framing do an optimizing our building envelope by using advanced framing techniques. And there's even a possibility that we could be doing ICFs, which are insulated concrete forms. We do a spray apply preventive pest control measures on our first floor frame and our foundations as well. Our exterior walls and our ceiling insulations are R23 and R60 plus respectively. Our windows and doors are Energy Star Low E with argon. We have all of our plumbing fixtures are water sense, which means it's an EPA criteria that we meet with the dual flush toilets, our faucets and shower heads. Our Whirlpool Energy Star appliances are all top notch, highly efficient, and our Energy Star rated electrical fixtures and or LED bulbs, which save our homeowners a lot of money in the long run. So we also are going to be doing something a little bit different on this project. We're going to be going to high efficiency ductless systems for heating and cooling, which are quieter, they're more efficient, they promote better air quality, and with smart controls, you can actually set all of your thermostats and things like that through your smartphone apps. So that's really exciting. We're going to be starting that on this particular project. Our Valspar donated paint finishes are all durable, 100% latex, mildew resistant, and our Green Guard product certified for low chemical emissions. So it's really, really high quality products that we're using. We also have Energy Star rated bathroom ventilation systems designed to conserve energy and to prevent mold growth. We have drip irrigation systems and drought tolerant plantings to conserve water usage, roof rainwater collection diverted away from the foundation and used for watering yard plantings. We're also going to try to implement a rainwater harvesting system for our houses as well, so that people can use that to water their plants and such in the yards. Our home designs is always a priority, is always given to handicap, accessible, and adaptability for longevity and visitability standards. Those are the main criteria that we try to abide by, so that if someone visits your home that's handicapped or even using crutches, they'll be able to get around your house very easily. So we have active recycling efforts, proper hazardous waste disposal, and use scrap materials on our job site to minimize waste going to the landfills. Currently, our Habitat homes have a HERS rating, which is a home energy rating system of 45, which is very good. So it's on a scale of 0 to 100, and the lower the score, the better. So we're at 45, which is pretty good, but we're actually looking to improve those rating systems by going to LEED for Homes, a version 4.1, which LEED, if you're not familiar with, is an acronym for leadership in energy and environmental design, which was developed by the USGBC, which is the United States Green Building Council, which Habitat, our affiliate in particular, has been a member since 2013. And what LEED really does is when we implement LEED, we are going to prioritize building efficiency. We will decrease operational costs for our homeowners and increase asset value for our homeowners. So it's really a great idea to implement these energy saving programs for the benefit of our homeowners. And last but not least, with P&M approvals, it's very possible that this could be our first solar initiative with Habitat in Albuquerque, which we're really excited about. So with all of those things happening on 62nd Street and maybe on other future projects as well, we're really excited about the sustainable building practices, not only that we employ right now, but we're going to implement on a new project. And I'd like to take this last opportunity to thank every one of our donors and sponsors and all of our volunteers that come out and have helped push our affiliate forward, and especially our SWAT, who've been instrumental in moving our affiliate in a forward direction and completing some of the projects that we had going during the pandemic. So thank you all and have a great time at the breakfast. Thanks. Bye.
Way to go, Bill. That's amazing. Look, I understand that earlier this year, Michael and Nancy Odell pledged $120,000 to sponsor one of the homes. Truly, truly amazing. That's really awesome. Thank you, Michael and Nancy. And I was told you're doing this, listen to this, folks, to engage their grandchildren in the world of philanthropy. Again, leaving that legacy, the next generation. Imagine helping your grandparents build a house they're sponsoring so that a low-income family that partners with Habitat for Humanity ABQ and completes 500 hours of sweat equity. That's what these families do, 500 hours. And then they have an opportunity to own a home with a down payment of no more than $500 and a monthly mortgage payment of under $500 with zero interest. That's what you're doing today. That's the way we teach the next generation. Another house is going to go up on 62nd Street in 2022 will be the Unity House 5. And this is really about faith-based engagement. Various congregations and folks in the faith communities in Albuquerque, they've started to raise the funds for that house. St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church committed $7,500. So thanks to the folks at St. Andrew's, and more than $1,800 in donations have come from individuals at St. Tim's Lutheran. Really unbelievable. That was just during their March and April stewardship appeal in support of Habitat for Humanity's Unity House 5. In addition, the congregations approved $5,000 or more from their mission endowment fund. So in total, St. Tim's Church is donating more than $6,800 today. So folks, when you give that $100, that $500, that $1,000, so you can get the 50% tax credit from New Mexico, know that there are a lot of community partners that are standing tall with you. So thanks to St. Timothy's Lutheran Church. And let's take a look at the thermometer soon, or if you're ready, please put that $6,800 in there and let's show where we're at, because then we're going to get to some community awards. Stick with us, folks. We just got a couple quick awards here. We're going to land the plane and wrap up today's impactful event, trying to get to that $75,000 mark. Let's see that thermometer. Can we do that as I grab these great awards? $43,000 and 280, 43,280. So we are well on our way to hitting our goal. Thanks to Michael Montoya. I wonder if that's my buddy, Michael Montoya, CGI. That guy was always cutting a check. But anyway, whichever Michael Montoya from the beautiful land of enchantment it is, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That is fantastic. Let's go to Albuquerque Mortgage. Look, let me just say, Bank of Albuquerque stands tall with Habitat for Humanity. And this guy's a great leader. He's my tocayo. I want to just say thank you, Brian Wilson, for being with us today. Take it away, Brian. I can't hear you because I think you might be muted. And you are just looking good. That background is awesome. Try again. Brian Wilson, I'd love to hear you. You look good. Brian, we're going to come back to you here in just a second. Let me see if we can get the team to help you with the sound there, because I want to hear what comes out of that $1 million smile of yours. Let me just start with our, Brian's going to talk about Albuquerque, Bank of Albuquerque Mortgage's sponsorship of the Homeowner of the Year Awards. And let me see, Brian, are you with me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. You're live. Take it away.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry about that. Technical difficulties, but great. Thank you, Brian. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Wilson. I'm a mortgage banker here with Bank of Albuquerque Mortgage. First off, I just want to thank Beth, Lila, the entire team at Habitat for Humanity for having us. We're excited and we're glad to be here. But I didn't want to take too much of you guys' time, but one of the biggest things we believe here at Bank of Albuquerque is bringing homeownership to everyone within our community. Habitat does just that. With all the donations, volunteers, etc., they truly give back by making it possible for low-income families to obtain housing. This is huge because it not only brings hope, opportunity, but it's changing people's lives, kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier. It's an amazing organization with a great team, and we truly believe in the vision. Matter of fact, that vision has even linked Bank of Albuquerque and Habitat for Humanity for the past 5 years, and it has been great. It's a partnership that we truly value, not only on a personal level, but also on a corporate level, and it's close to all of our hearts. So I just want to quickly say thank you to everyone and from Bank of Albuquerque, and congratulations to the winners of the Homeowner of the Year Awards, and have a safe and healthy 2021, all right?
All right, thank you to my tocayo, Brian. I'm going to turn off my my virtual background so you can't miss out the opportunity to see these awards. They don't hold up too well with the virtual backgrounds. So let me just say award number 1 goes to Frank Teo and Myra Cervantes. And the families lived in their Habitat home since 2013. The families had a very difficult year on a number of personal fronts, but they've gotten through it. And Habitat for Humanity has stood tall with them as they reach their potential. We're grateful to be able to give them a bit of support in the form of this award and 1 month's mortgage relief that goes along with it. So let's check out that video where they're accepting the award. Take it away.
Hello, Habitat for Humanity. On behalf of my family and me, I want to thank you guys for everything you guys have done over the years, ever since back in September 2013 when we first got our home. This has been a blessing. Thank you guys very much, and it really means a lot to receive this award that Habitat is giving us. Especially through a time like this, it's been a really rough year for my family and me. A lot of bad stuff happening in my family lately, but we really appreciate you, and I thank Habitat for everything they've done for my family and me, and we are really grateful for Habitat for Humanity. Thank you guys very much.
What a great and articulate young man. Thank you to Bank of Albuquerque and Brian Wilson for sponsoring these awards. Let me give you a little bit of backstory on award number 2. It's going to be presented to Raquel Rodriguez in honor of her mom, Rosa. See, Rosa passed away this year, and she purchased her Habitat house back in 2005. And we just want the Rodriguez family to know that we send our deepest condolences, and we're thinking about them. And Bank of Albuquerque allowed us to issue this award this year to the Rodriguez family. And while Raquel didn't have the capacity to come to camera today, she did send me a note and asked if I'd read it. And so this is Raquel's note to each and every one of you, with gratitude for the contributions you're making now, and to Bank of Albuquerque and Brian Wilson for them sponsoring the award. It says, "Hi, my name is Raquel Rodriguez, the daughter of Rosa Rodriguez. My mom was single. She had 3 children. She was a hard worker and she loved flowers. She was struggling doing what she could to give us what we needed. And if it wasn't for Habitat that helped her the most when she needed it, it would have been hard for her to get a house on her own. Unfortunately, my mother passed away last November due to the pandemic. She'd be so happy to know that she's getting this award. Having a home to remember her and all the things she did in it, and the love she showed us in this home, is really unexplainable. Habitat's been a blessing to our family, not just our community. We appreciate and we're thankful to Habitat for choosing my mom as homeowner of the year. This award is super helpful. And on behalf of my mom and my family, thank you so much." So there's Rosa saying thank you, or there's Raquel saying thank you for posthumously honoring Rosa for being homeowner of the year. And we thank Bank of Albuquerque and my tocayo, Brian Wilson, for joining us today and for your heartfelt words. You know, I guess having buried my father when I was a child or a teenager, Raquel's words hit very, very close to home. And we're just grateful that they continue to be inspired by Habitat's work, and we'll keep doing it, and they'll keep reaching their potential. We're just putting the foundation. So let's see here. I better put my background back on here so you don't have to see my whole bookshelf. But let me just say, there are lots of ways to support Habitat for Humanity. One of the ways is through a gift through your planned estate. If you got stock that's appreciated, you don't want to pay taxes on it, we take donations of stock. You can just email through our website, and the work of Habitat's going to go on long after we're gone. But one of the ways it can go on after we're gone is to make an estate gift. Please consider including Habitat in your will or your estate plan. And if you do so, let Habitat for Humanity know so that we can make sure that we plan for that and we take care of that. Thank you for the kind messages that are in the chat. Today's a very special day for me to be able to do this, and thank you for being here. Let's circle back. Can we get the thermometer? Maybe we should do the thermometer. There we go. So we have crossed the 2/3 border here. Thanks to St. Timothy's Lutheran Church. That gift was included in there. We're now past the $50,000 mark. I don't know if we can raise $24,000 in the next 10 minutes, but we're going to try and get as close as we possibly can. And I hope you'll join me. Thanks to everyone who's made those contributions. Remember, you make $1,000 contribution, we can get you that 50% tax credit from the state of New Mexico. Thanks to the Land of Enchantment for incentivizing these gifts. And now, Ms. Wolfenstein, Habitat's grants and events manager, is going to come on because somebody won those lucky raffle prizes. Let's hear it. Layla.
Hello, everybody.
How are
I'm
you?
so happy to Can you hear me?
There you are. Now you're pinned up. Looking
I'm
good
so
over there.
happy to be here to talk about the raffle. But first, I want to express deep appreciation to you, Brian, for your endless dedication and support. You are an unparalleled supporter of Habitat, and your stellar hosting today is so wonderful to make this event everything that it can be. So without further ado, we raised close to $3,000 from raffle ticket sales. So that is not insignificant. And I am going to screen share the winners. And here we go. So let's see if I can scroll for you. The Pandaray Resort raffle prize went to Estelle Solomon. I'm not sure why I'm not able to scroll.
You muted yourself inadvertently. Come on back. Unmute. Don't worry about scrolling. Just tell us who the winners are, and we're going to get to some closing remarks as we try and raise this $24,000 in the next 5 minutes. Can you help me? Can you help me? Help me finish laying that foundation.
Yes, I can.
Get their potential. There she is. Take it away.
Can you hear me? Okay. Estelle Solomon won the Pandaray Resort retreat. Sylvia Tamaya won the handmade quilt. And Stacy Lamb won the $150 gift card from Target. Congratulations.
All right. That's terrific. So that $3,000 on raffle tickets, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's like 5%, almost 5% of our goal. 3750 would have been 5% of our goal. So thanks to everyone who purchased the raffle tickets, and we're going to get them their wonderful prizes. And we've got to get that Anderson Foundation Challenge Grant as we wrap this up. Don't forget the auction is open today until 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. So go out and donate after we sign off here in a few minutes, and make sure you share that auction with your family and friends. The trips are good from anywhere in the United States. So I want to say thanks again to our sponsors. Are we going to put up, I hope we can get some more contributions in. Let's update that thermometer over there, and let's make sure we do everything we can. So we're at 60,000. So my goodness, that was like 9,000 and change in like 4 minutes. That is awesome. So thanks. We are making some incredible progress. I know they want me to land the plane before 11. That gives me 8 minutes to get this wrapped up, but let me do that. I want to say thanks to our sponsors again. Please keep donating. We want to get that $10,000 in from the Anderson Foundation. So thank you to all our sponsors. You know, we are just so grateful. We're grateful to our banner sponsor, the New Mexico Gas Company, all the corporate sponsors that stepped up, and most especially thanks to each and every one of you, whether you gave $5 today to buy a raffle ticket or whether you wrote a check with a comma in it so you can get a tax credit. We're grateful for you equally. Each of you have laid the footings, you've poured the concrete slab, and you've provided that foundation so families can reach their potential. With sweat equity, those monthly payments to a 0% mortgage, we're changing lives and trajectory forever. So thank you so much for sponsoring Raising the Roof. Let me just say, can we, I know we have till 4 p.m., share the link, habitatabq.org 2021. You know, anybody wants to support us and help us get that $10,000, we want to make sure we do that. So how are we doing on the Anderson grant? Maybe I can get, thank you for your kind notes in the chat. Those of you that are sending me direct messages, you've inspired me. Sorry that we ran a little long. My personal goal was to end by 11. I wore the color of royalty today, the purple, because each of you are royalty for supporting Habitat for Humanity ABQ. I got my coffee mug here. So I got a direct message here. So Beth, somebody pinned Beth on here. I want Beth to be pinned right next to me. And I want you to tell everybody what, hey, look, for those of you that have been with Habitat for a while, you know that Beth is like, Beth, and I mean, the whole team is great, but I just got to say, Beth, like throughout the year, sends me these little notes that absolutely inspire me and keep me engaged. But let me just, this isn't part of the script, Beth, but I know you sent me a direct message. What did you tell me?
We met the grant, or you met the grant. Our supporters met the grant. Thank you all. And
that is great. Thank you so much. I got lots of direct messages here. Beth does rock. I got a couple of text messages. Those were direct messages, so everybody in the chat didn't see them. But Beth, you're getting some big props. LW, you're getting some big props in my chat anyway on the direct message. I want to pull these down and save them just so you can see them. But let me just close this out today. It is now 10:54. You have been absolutely amazing. Thank you to Anderson for putting up that $10,000 grant. I don't know where we're at on the thermometer, but we are so close to that $75,000. I know that once we finish our online auction tonight at 4 o'clock, I know bid on the lunch. I know my mom's going to bid on the lunch. And at this point, I think what we're going to do is we're going to let folks, we're going to unpin me. We're going to let you all visit with one another and enjoy. Don't forget the trips of the lifetime all over the world, the silent auction items, habitatabq.org 2021. Just know that the last hour and a half have been phenomenal for me. It's been an opportunity for me to share my heart with you, share my love with you, share a little bit of the treasure that Aleli and I have with you, because I just know what this means to these families. It makes a difference. It changes lives and then changes trajectories. My son doesn't know what poverty is when it comes to living in poverty. And that's because people like you invested in me so many years ago and allowed me to be the first in my family to break that cycle of poverty. Just know that that's never been lost on me. I will continue to live a life of service and gratitude every single day because I owe a debt to the community that I'll never be able to repay fully. But like I tell my son, I'm gonna die trying. So thank you, Habitat for Humanity, ABQ. Thanks for letting me be your MC today. And then I think, Doug, is that you live?
Yep. Thank you again very much, Brian. Thank you again for all your support and what you've done for us. Want to thank everybody for what a fantastic event and a fantastic morning. Thank you to everyone who spent the breakfast with us this morning to support economic security through home ownership. Have a great day and thank you again very much.
Thanks, Doug. Way to go.
Yeah.
We're out. Have a beautiful day, everybody.